welcome to DGP Week 5. Don't forget to spell out the number and your name and core. Of course, the date, watch out for spelling of days of the week and these commas. And we happen to do this on September the 26th, 2016. So, but you can use the date that we had. Here are our corrections. There are only two. So you can always start with he lay down and capitalize the first word in every sentence and put a period at the end. He lay down across the wide bunk that stretched across the end of the room, and we are ready for the next slide. So here is Tuesdays. Again, spelling. I'm seeing a lot of people who are not capitalizing Tuesday. Watch for the commas. We, of course, have the corrections, and now we have the parts of speech so that everything will be labeled. I like to start with prepositions because they pop out at me, and there are three of them, and we have across the wide bunk, across the end, and of the room. Now that you have your prepositions, you know that subjects and verbs, nouns and verbs cannot go in those prepositional phrases, so it helps simplify your sentence. You also know when we're talking about nouns, there are three of them, and guess what? Prepositional phrases either end with nouns or pronouns. In this case, we have three nouns here, so I'm going to mark those off. Another easy place to start, especially if you are uncomfortable, are articles. These are a, an, the, and we have three articles. We have the wide bunk, the room, and the the end and the room. They're your articles. Now, I forgot, with prepositional phrases start with prepositions. So there we can label our prepositions. These are some of the most common prepositions, especially of, in the English language. Now, let's talk about pronouns. He is our pronoun. It is a nominative pronoun. On the next slide, it will be a subject pronoun, a subject, and then your relative pronoun, that's a little bit different. It's a little trickier. It's going to be the word that. So we have pronoun. Now, in this sentence, we have two action verbs, and they represent an action that you can see. Lay is an action verb, and stretched is an action verb. And those seem to me pretty obvious. And then, let's see, what do we have? Oh, we have an adjective across the, what kind of bunk? It is a wide bunk, so that is an adjective. And finally, we have an adverb. He lay, where did he lay? He lay down. This adds to the verb and is an adverb. So there we have our Tuesday with parts of speech. Wednesday brings us to parts of the sentence. So see if I can get this down so you can see Wednesday a little bit better. Oh, there we go. Maybe if I just, oh, there we go. So here's Wednesday. Again, people are misspelling Wednesday still, so check it out. Your commas. So make sure you're doing those things correctly. I'm going to maybe have to erase that and move this back up so we can see our sentence. I already told you in yesterday's slide, the slide you just saw a minute ago, that he and that are the subjects. We have two sentences here. He lay down across the wide bunk, and that stretched across the end of the room. So those are your two sentences we're working with. So two subjects, two verbs. Lay is a verb. It is intransitive because we do not have a direct object, so we will cross that out. And then you already have your prepositional phrases labeled from the last slide. The trick here is to label them either adverbs or adjectives. Many people think, since we had an adjective here, that this is an adjective prepositional phrase, but it is not. Let's see, phrase. Because he lay down across the wide bunk tells where he lay, and anything that modifies a verb is an adverb. Across the end is also an adverbial prepositional phrase because across the wide bunk, across the end tells where he stretched. The end of what? Of the room. Remember your other day you labeled this as a noun. So this is your adjective prepositional phrase. And so now we have labeled all of our prepositional phrases. I'm going to change pen colors so that you can see it a little bit better, but your object of the preposition is always going to be here at the end. It's always going to be a noun or a pronoun. You already have that label from another slide, and there we have Wednesday's DGP. So we're moving on to the next. We're going to skip Thursday, and we're going to work on the diagram. This diagram is pretty big, so here's your sentence, and there's your date. Please make sure you have it correct. And then we are going to fill this in. You've already worked with this sentence all week, and so we are just going to fill this out. He is a subject. Please make sure you capitalize this. He lay. Where did he lay? He lay down. Where? Across the bunk. It's the bunk, and it's the wide bunk. Now, there was no coordinating conjunction. We were just joining these two sentences together. Your subject is that. Stretched. And here we have all our prepositional phrases. Remember, it's kind of like a cheat right here. Across, end, it's the end of room, and it's the room. There's your diagram for this week. Thank you so much. I hope this is helpful, and let me know if you have any questions.